April the 14th, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order and ask for the roll call, please.
Councilmember Abdel-Gawad.
Here.
Councilmember Baker.
Present.
Councilmember Barber.
Present.
Councilmember Burke.
Present.
Councilmember Circo.
Present.
Councilmember Ingert.
Present.
Councilmember Holman.
Present.
Councilmember Mills.
Present.
Mayor Turnbow.
Present. We have a quorum. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So this evening, under new business, we have the declaration of the April 8th, 2025 election results, and this will be declared an emergency reading. So I'd please have the first reading of Bill 3960 by title only.
The first reading of Bill 3960 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, declaring the results of the April 8, 2025 election and declaring this bill as an emergency.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman.
sir, I move that we approve Bill 3960, declaring the April 8th, 2025 election results.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3960. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously 8-0. Can I please have the second reading of Bill 3960 in its entirety?
The second reading of Bill 3960 in its entirety, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, declaring the results of the April 8, 2025 election and declaring this bill as an emergency. Whereas a general municipal election was held on April 8, 2025, and whereas Section 9.3 of the Raymore City Charter calls for the council to declare the election results at the next regularly scheduled council meeting following the election. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Raymore, Missouri as follows. Section 1. It is hereby found and determined by a canvass of the votes by the City Council of the City of Raymore, Missouri at the election held on April 8, 2025, in conformity with the Comprehensive Election Act of 1977, revised statutes of Missouri, and the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the City of Raymore as follows. Mayor, 3-year term. Candidate Christopher P. Turnbow. Total votes received, 1,369. The City Council does find that Christopher P. Turnbow is the candidate for mayor who received the highest number of votes and shall hold the office for a 3-year term until a successor is duly elected or appointed and qualified according to law. Council member from Ward 1, 2-year term. Candidate Reginald Townsend, total votes received 194. Candidate Donald Baker, total votes received 264. The City Council does find that Donald Baker is the candidate for Council Member Ward 1 who received the highest number of votes and shall hold the office for a 2-year term until a successor is duly elected or appointed and qualified according to law. Council Member from Ward 2, 2-year term. Candidate Joseph W. Burke III. Total votes received 287. The City Council does find that Joseph W. Burke III is the candidate for Council Member Ward 2 who received the highest number of votes and shall hold the office for a 2-year term until a successor is duly elected or appointed and qualified according to law. Council Member from Ward 3, 2-year term. Candidate Kevin Barber. Total votes received 308. The City Council does find that Kevin Barber is the candidate for Council Member Ward 3 who received the highest number of votes and shall hold the office for a 2-year term until a successor is duly elected or appointed and qualified according to law. Council Member from Ward 4, 2-year term. Candidate Thomas Ingert. Total votes received 404. The City Council does find that Thomas Ingert is the candidate for Council Member Ward 4 who received the highest number of votes and shall hold the office for a 2-year term until a successor is duly elected or appointed and qualified according to law. Question, shall the City of Raymore, Missouri impose a sales tax of 0.25% for the sole purpose of providing revenues for hiring, paying, equipping, and training additional police officers pursuant to Section 92.500 RSMO, which said revenue shall not be commingled with non-public safety funds and shall not displace funds regularly budgeted for public safety. Total yes votes received, 1,069. Total no votes received, 602. The City Council does find that the question was approved by the voters of the City of Raymore. Section 2, it is further found, declared, and determined that notice of said election was duly given and published in the manner provided by law and that said election was held and conducted in all respects in conformity with the Constitution and laws of the State of Missouri governing elections and subject to the provisions for charter cities. Section 3, severability. If any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase, or portion of this ordinance is for any reason held invalid or unconstitutional by any court of incompetent jurisdiction, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision, and such holding shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions thereof. Section 4, emergency reading. This bill is declared and authorized as an emergency and will be read in its entirety to promote the administration of government and permit the newly elected officials to begin their terms. Section 5, effective date. The effective date of approval of this ordinance shall be coincidental with the mayor's signature and attestation by the city clerk. Duly read the first time this 14th day of April 2025. Be it remembered that the above ordinance was approved and adopted this 14th day of 2025 by the following vote.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any questions of staff? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman,
I move that we approve Bill 3960 declaring the April 8th, 2025 election results.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Abdelgawad. As this is a second reading and an emergency reading, I'm going to ask for a roll call vote. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Abdelgawad,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Barber,
Yes.
Councilmember Burke,
Yes.
Councilmember Circo,
Yes.
Councilmember Ingert,
Yes.
Councilmember Holman,
Yes.
Councilmember Mills.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. That concludes on the new business. We'll now have the oath of office. So if the newly elected individuals would please, along with me, step down to the floor.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Christopher P. Turnbow, do solemnly swear
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office to which I have been elected,
to the office of which I've been elected,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and that I will faithfully discharge my official duties
and that I will faithfully discharge my official duties
in the office of mayor
in the office of mayor
for which I was elected.
for which I was elected.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you can sign here.
All right. Thank you.
Councilmember Baker. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Donald Baker, do solemnly swear
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office to which I've been elected,
for the office to which I've been elected,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and all ordinances affecting the city of Raymore,
and that I will faithfully discharge my official duties
and I will faithfully discharge my official duties
in the office of council member
in the office of council member
for which I was elected.
for which I was elected.
Congratulations. Councilmember Burke. Please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Joe Burke, do solemnly swear
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office to which I have been elected,
for the office to which I have been elected,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and that I will faithfully discharge my official duties
and I will faithfully discharge my official duties
in the office of council member
in the office of council member
for which I was elected.
for which I was elected.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Have a nice one. Yeah. I don't have a classroom to hang this up in anymore.
Councilmember Barber. I, please state, or raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Kevin Barber, solemnly swear
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
I possess the qualifications described by law
for the office to which I have been elected,
to the office which I was elected,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore.
and that I will faithfully discharge my official duties
And I will faithfully discharge my official duties
in the office of council member
in the office of council member
for which I was elected.
for which I was elected.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Sign the left hand.
We're saving the best for last, right?
Please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Tom Erger, do solemnly swear
I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
I profess the qualifications described by law
for the office to which I have been elected,
to the office which I've been elected,
and that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and the state of Missouri affecting charter cities
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and all ordinances of the city of Raymore,
and that I will faithfully discharge my official duties
and will faithfully discharge my duties
in the office of council member
in the office of council member
for which I was elected.
for which I was elected.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Now I got my glasses on. That's pretty sloppy. Thank you.
So that concludes the official business for the Raymore City Council regular meeting for Monday, April the 14th, 2025. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman,
so I move that we adjourn this April 14th, 2025 Raymore City Council regular meeting.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn from the regular meeting for Monday, April the 14th. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously 8-0. Okay, so now we're going to move into the Raymore City Council special meeting for Monday, April the 14th, 2025. I'll call the meeting to order and ask for the roll call, please.
Councilmember Abdelgawad,
Here.
Councilmember Baker,
Present.
Councilmember Barber,
Present.
Councilmember Burke,
Present.
Councilmember Circo,
Present.
Councilmember Ingert,
Present.
Councilmember Holman,
Present.
Councilmember Mills,
Present.
Mayor Turnbow.
Present. We have a quorum. We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance again, so if you'd please rise. So the staff always runs away because they think I'm going to spit while I'm talking, I assume. I don't know what that's all about. But we do have a couple of great proclamations this evening. See, he'll stand behind me here. Right. All right, so the first one is a recognition of National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. I was actually privileged to have been the co-chair of the Public Safety Communications Board at Mid-America Regional Council, and they had their banquet Friday night, and a lot of great telecommunicators, commonly referred to as dispatchers, were recognized that evening for their work above and beyond, and it's just tremendous, some of the things that they have to deal with and stay calm and cool. And of course, the big one was there were 27 dispatchers that were recognized for the events of the Super Bowl parade and events at Union Station. And frankly, it was very touching and pretty cool to see some people recognized there for the work that they did that day, coordinating what was utter chaos. But our proclamation this evening recognizes all of our dispatchers for the wonderful work that they do on a daily basis. And having been a street cop, they really do save your life on a regular basis. Whereas when our community faces a crisis, whether on an individual level or on a massive scale, when seconds count and the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, public safety telecommunicators stand ready to answer the call 24 hours a day. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the skill of our public safety telecommunicators in obtaining accurate information from citizens who contact the Raymore Police Department Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are first responders in the truest sense, but often go unheralded for the critical role they play in the success of any police, fire, or EMS call for service. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are a vital link for police officers, firefighters, and paramedics by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas the public safety telecommunicators of the Raymore Police Department contribute immeasurably to the safety of our community by demonstrating compassion, understanding, and professionalism each day in the performance of their duties. Now therefore, I, Christopher P. Turnbull, Mayor of the City of Raymore, do hereby proclaim the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of Raymore in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Raymore to be affixed this 14th day of April, 2025. Chief is accepting the certificate. Whoops. Let me turn around here. Probably got that on camera. All right, I have another one here. It's for National Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. Again, Chief oversees that department as well. So whereas when the health and welfare of animals in the City of Raymore is at stake, animal control professionals are needed to ensure the safety and well-being of both domestic and wild animals. And whereas the safety of our citizens is dependent upon the skills of these professionals to assist the community in providing a disease-free, nuisance-free environment through enforcement and education. And whereas the animal control personnel of the Raymore Police Department often risk life and limb to protect the citizens and animals of this community, and whereas many animals, both domestic and wild, owe their lives to the unwavering efforts of animal control personnel that have rescued them from injury, disease, abuse, and starvation by providing necessary food, shelter, and medical attention. And whereas the animal control officers of the Raymore Police Department have contributed substantially to the overall safety of our community by demonstrating compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their duties. Now therefore, I, Christopher P. Turnbull, Mayor of the City of Raymore, Missouri, do hereby proclaim this week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week in the City of Raymore in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city, citizens, and animals safe. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Raymore to be affixed this 14th day of April, 2025. And again, the chief will be accepting in their behalf. Okay, so now with the presentations out of the way, we'll now move on to personal appearances. There are none, so we'll move on to staff. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask Mr. Gress to make a staff report for Development Services.
Thank you, sir. Mayor and Council, in your packet was a written report for the month of March for the Development Services Department. Two things I wanted to bring to your attention, as always, would be the permit activity for the month of March. We issued 12 permits in March, which brings our calendar year up to 35 permits. There you can see on your chart a comparison of where we are this year compared to last year. And then secondly, I wanted to kind of bring attention to business that we've had here in town for a little while that is doing very well in the city, well enough to already be expanding. The Quilted Cow over on the east side of town off Walnut opened up last year. They repurposed an old office building. They were the first franchise outside of the Branson area to open a Quilted Cow location, and they have now leased the building next door to there, which used to be a daycare, and are refinishing that building to open it up for some community classes and additional space for their business. Last month, we finally issued the permit to allow them to start work in that building, and so they should be done with some of their preliminary work here in the next couple of weeks and have plans to kind of keep working in that building over time. So it was good to see them expand within a year and take on some additional space in the city. So happy to see that going on out there in the community. That concludes my staff report. Unless there are any questions of the council, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Gress. Any questions of Mr. Gress? Yes, Mr. Holman.
The multi-tenant commercial building between Scooters and the car wash, looks like all the exterior work is done and moving along pretty rapidly. Any ideas, guesstimates on when we might see occupancy of those buildings?
So the shell of the building is nearing completion. They finished a lot of the stucco and the exterior finish last month. There's still a little bit of work to do on the finish side of it. They currently have two tenants that are working. The first one is the Pacific Dental, which owns the building and will lease the other spaces. And then Einstein Brothers Bagels has also been released to start their tenant finish. There's still quite a bit of work to do on both of those spaces, so I imagine it will be probably into June or July before they're open. Either one of those, but we'll work with each of those for some sort of ribbon cutting to welcome them to the community. But both projects are on schedule, just a lot of work to still be done.
Thank you. It's good information, sir. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Fearborn, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Gress. I'd call on Chief to make a report for the Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening, I'm going to bring a little bit of information to you with regard to the warmer weather. Obviously, folks are getting out to the parks more. With folks being out in the parks, more incidents have occurred. I'm going to give a little rundown of just the 6 incidents that we've taken in late March, early April. Excuse me. On the 24th of March, there was some property damage up at Hawk Ridge. Trash bin kicked over, changing table cracked, hanging off the wall, unknown substance smeared all over the floors and countertop, reported loss of $800. March 28th, assault between 2 juveniles. Both were referred to the juvenile office. March 31st, property damage, spray painted door, walls, hand soap dispensers, towel dispensers, and a mirror. Reported loss, $175. April 4th, property damage, soap dispenser again. Harmony Bell outdoor musical instrument, metal table. Harmony Bell itself was $5,040. So the total loss there was $5,080. Recreational Park on April 5th. Property damage, various writings on the door, hand dryer above the sinks and both stalls. Also, several dispenser items damaged. Reported loss $480. On April 8th, picnic tables were moved to a light fixture busted from the shelter. Reported loss is $299. With those 6 reports, we have a total loss of $6,834. That doesn't include the park employee time of cleanup or the time in which the officers are investigating it. Some of these, or most of these, are going to be involving juveniles, so those are going to take some time to clear up and interview the juveniles. The main thing of me bringing this report to you tonight, you know, the community members all talk about how the parks are great. We all love our parks. And I think that if folks are out in the parks, if they see something, now is the time to say something real time. Don't wait till later in the day. Don't wait till the next day. Call us when you see something going on. When you see kids standing up on top of one of the the roofs of one of the playground equipment, call us and let us know so we can come down there. So how to report incidents for all of you and the community members. The normal 911, but if it's a non-emergency, call the non-emergency number at 331-0530. You can report a concern at raymore.com. Go under the tab, it's report a concern. The text line at 816-892-9737. That's 892-9737. You can obviously email me, Nate Rogers, or John Keltner, or Rebecca Burns. All of our email addresses are online at raymore.com. And those folks that want to report anonymously, sometimes you have friends of friends that's, they don't like the damage, they don't want to say nothing outwardly, so they can remain anonymous at any one of those items that I just reported. And the biggest thing is if you all can put out as well in the community, if you see something, say something. Please report any damage. That's my report this evening.
Thank you,
I'd like to
Chief.
dovetail
Yeah.
off of that for just a moment, sir. Truly, when someone is attacking our Parks and Recreation Department, it is absolutely senseless. I do want to point out that on several of these, we have leads. As the council is aware, we have an extensive camera network. The council has been very generous in both offering, if we need to beef those up. We have a number of plans that we're putting in place that you may be hearing about as early as next Monday night, as far as possibly showing you some of the video that we're looking at with these. When you look at it, it is amazing how truly senseless it is. There's just no reason to do this, and especially when it's Hawk Ridge Park and the playground that is up there, there is nothing in that playground, as you could tell from the dollar amounts here, that isn't incredibly expensive. Yeah, I take my granddaughter there a lot, and they remove and vandalize the locks on the swings that are necessary for them to be, to meet the needs of some of the children that are there. Those locks are stainless steel. They're incredibly expensive and a huge lead time. It seems like I have not been up to Hawk Ridge Park in months that those swings have been disabled in one form or another because those locks are missing. So it's just, as the chief has indicated, this is going to take a community effort to try to inform people that this is it. It just hurts everybody when folks do this. It kind of strikes to my heart. So that concludes staff report on this item, sir.
Thank you. Chief, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I would just like to mention that I only went back a month. So, even in the cold months, we have received some damage here and there. But as Mr. Fairborn said, that's one thing I did leave out. We do have some leads. Those leads are going to take some time. It's not like they can go out and just talk to the juvenile. We have to arrange that with their parents. We have to arrange that with the juvenile office. So those cases are going to be a little bit lengthy, but we'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Mr. Mills?
Do we have, or maybe the possibility, I know like when we have, in neighborhoods, we'd have a lot of problems, you had the neighborhood watch signs and things like that, about maybe putting several signage, like keep our parks safe and have the phone numbers to call, report suspicious behavior, things like that. Do you think that could be beneficial, maybe even as a deterrent too, that people know that, hey, people are watching you?
We're going to be bringing a number of suggestions to you all, for sure. Great idea.
Anyone else have anything? Okay. Mr. Fairborn, you have another report?
Thank you, sir. Want to remind the council that we do have a work session next week, April 21st. Again, mentioned one item that is most probable to be on there. We also have 2 or 3 other items that we're kind of juggling with to try to figure out how they're going to be on there, but you do have a work session next week. I'm going to interrupt that one and ask Ms. Hill to make a very quick report. I got it in my notes here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The Show Me Green sales tax holiday for 2025 will be April 19th through 25th. This sales tax holiday exempts state and local sales tax on retail sales of qualifying Energy Star certified new appliances up to $1,500 per appliance. Additional information on this program can be found on the Missouri Department of Revenue's website. Thank you.
Thank you. Any
So-
questions, Ms. Hill? Oh, yes, Mr. Fierborn, go ahead.
Next week, again, with the sales tax holiday, the work session on Monday, wanted to remind the council that 2 weeks from tonight is also the unusual agenda where the council will be picking among your membership for a mayor pro tem and all of the items relative to planning and zoning, and seats on planning and zoning will be at that meeting as well. Traditionally, that is when that is on. Wanted to end my report tonight. The voters of Raymore did approve the public safety sales tax. Want to give you a little bit of detail, and we'll be coming back to visit this every single month. So following the certification tonight, we will be turning in the original ordinance where you put it on the ballot, and this one's certifying, as well as the sheet that you all had in front of you tonight. We have 10 days to turn those in to the Department of Revenue after this evening. So what we turn into them has to include those two ordinances, the certified copy of the election results, and a copy of the official ballot that was sent out that has to be certified by the county. And then we will be providing them, obviously, with all the finance contact information that they need. So that all has to go in within 10 days. Because this is a new local sales tax, they get back to us, everything gets verified over the course of the next couple of months. So a new local sales tax is effective by statute on the first day of the second calendar quarter following Department of Revenue notification. So we'll be sending that in, we'll be verifying the packet, sending it in on Wednesday. So that effective date is October 1, that's the second quarter beyond. So the effective date is then October, they'll start collecting this particular sales tax. We'll see the first collections from that the following month. People pay at different corporations pay at different times, but we will start seeing the first revenues from it in November of this year. So perfect timing. What the council will be seeing moving forward is the fiscal year 25-26 budget. When you look at that, we will have a brand new, because this is going to be incredibly transparent and has to be by statute. We currently have 3 operating funds. Council knows that. We have the general fund, we have the parks fund, and we have the enterprise fund. So now we have a brand new operating fund to go with the public safety sales tax, all on its own. So from here on out, all of our budgets will have 4 operating funds. The sub accounts within the public safety sales tax will nearly mirror exactly the departmental fund within the general fund, because we'll have the exact same costs out of there just for the 8 new police officer positions that this is going to be hiring. So you'll see that it will be Fund 15. All of our operating funds are on the 5s, so we want to keep consistent with that. We also, the departmental number for the police department is also 15, so that kind of works out pretty well for us. Again, this is only going to be used to hire and pay the salaries of 8 new police officers within the police department, and outfitting them and the equipment that is necessary only for those 8 officers. The kind of talking with the chief and in the planning for this, there's been a lot of planning go into it beyond the passage, obviously. Without getting deep at all into any of the operating aspects of the police department, the goal is going to be to expand on all existing units. In other words, this doesn't create a new timeline, really. It is more officers within the confines of what we have right now. So there'll be more officers to be out, visible, as we had indicated in the ballot, or during the attempt to pass it. It's going to mean more visibility, more investigation being done on things. And so all of that, as we proceed forward, we'll be able to go into more detail every single month. Our goal being, we hope the council is sick of us presenting on this by the time we actually get to collecting on the revenue. And again, all of this will be outlined in incredible detail. You'll see it ahead of time, but it'll be formalized in the fiscal year 26 budget for you all to see. That concludes staff reports tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of staff? All right. Well, moving right along, we'll get into the consent agenda now. We have the one item under the consent agenda for the March 24th meeting minutes. I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman.
so I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented to include the city council meeting minutes from the meeting of March 24th, 2025.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdelgawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Mr. Mills?
I will abstain as I was in the hospital.
Okay,
for that
thank you,
meeting.
sir. All right. All those in favor? We have 7 yes and 1 abstention. Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to unfinished business now. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 3949 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3949 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Terry Snelling Construction, Inc. for the 2025 curb replacement project, city project number 25-469-201, in the amount of $928,810, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you, ma'am. If there's no further questions of staff, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman?
so I move that we approve Bill 3949, award of contract to Terry Snelling Construction for the 2025 curb project.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Abdelgawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3949. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 3957 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3957 by title only, an ordinance authorizing the taxable industrial revenue bonds, KCI Raymore Building 5 LLC project, Series 2025, related to an industrial development project in the city, and authorizing the city to enter into certain agreements and take certain other actions.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any further questions on this item? If not, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of it.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman?
so I move that we approve Bill 3957, the Raymore Commerce Center South Chapter 100, Building
you.
5.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdelgawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3957. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. We'll now move on to new business. Could I please have the first reading of Bill 3954 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 3954 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Big Green Turf Management LLC to provide fertilization services and tree disease treatments at municipal facilities and select park areas.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Fearborn, is there a staff report?
Thank you, sir. I would ask Mr. Mustine to make a staff report on this agenda item.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, members of the council, tonight before you is a contract for fertilization of the lawn at City Hall, Municipal Circle, Centerview, the main area of the rack. Also this year, actually last summer, the Park Board requested that we include TB Hanna as part of this program to improve the look of the park, as it gets used quite heavily, as you can imagine, during the summertime. So we included that particular park as part of this bid. And then to consolidate some of the services we do, we also included the ash borer treatment that we do on the municipal circle trees, the 27 ash trees around the circle. That's done every other year, and so we consolidated that so we didn't have to 3-quote all the time and just make one contract. That particular service, like I said, is every other year, so it's not going to be done this particular year, but it is scheduled for 2026. We did receive one bid, which is Big Green Turf Management. They do several things for us throughout town and are one of our corporate sponsors with the Parks Department. So we're very familiar with them, and we do recommend not only the main contract, but also TB Hanna as the alternate bid. And that concludes staff report.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of staff? Nathan, I noticed that this spring there was a plethora of those pear trees that are considered by Missouri to be an infestation. Have we got anything on the border of our parks where we've tried to control that and get those removed? Or
As far as controlling, the only thing you can really do is just cut them down and take them out. And so, and from a city perspective, what we do is we do remove them. And part of being that example to the community is we took out about 15 of those pear trees in prominent areas within Recreation Park. That was part of the landscaping project.
Good to know.
This particular Saturday, we took out one of the largest pear trees at Recreation Park, and that will be our arbor tree. We're replacing that tree at Recreation Park this weekend at the Easter Festival. So we're just trying to lead by examples. We're encouraging folks not to do that, and we mow and cut them down in our parks.
Okay, thank you. Good
Yes,
to
sir.
know. Any more questions of staff? Yes, Mr. Circo.
Yeah, Nathan, now you guys, when you take away greenery and trees, are you obligated to replace those greenery and trees that you remove from the city and parks and stuff? Or do you just limit it to how many you have to replace?
Obligated, no.
No.
However, it is a high priority for us. Obviously, we have 2 arborists on staff, so we want to plant as many trees as possible. But it does, the more you plant in terms of trees, the cuts down on heat, because there's a lot of parking and asphalt, and so the parks get hot. So we try to keep replenishing that, and we have a line item within our budget that's pretty significant for replanting of trees and shrubs and stuff.
Thank you, sir. If there are no further questions, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman?
sir, I move that we approve Bill 3954, award of contract to Big Green Turf Management LLC for the fertilization program.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdelgawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3954. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. Could I please have the first reading of Bill 3955 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 3955 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Done Right LLC, the Little Sports Shop, to provide uniform, shirts, and accessories for parks and recreation programs and staff.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Fearborn, is there a staff report?
Thank you, sir. I would ask Mr. Mustine to make a report on this item.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, members of the council. Before you here is a contract that we use within the Parks Department that supplies our uniforms for our sports programs, our youth athletics, ball caps, things of that nature. We also include general staff shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, stocking hats, things of that nature for our part-time staff and our full-time staff. This is a 3-year contract. It's typical with our contracts. It's a 1-year contract with the option to renew for an additional 1 year up to 2 terms, so a 3-year total. So this is for 1 year. We do submit a complete roster of items that we use across the board, totaling over 35, 40 items that we ask for bid. But when we compare those bids, it's a basket of goods. So we take a sample of those, say 10 items, and we compare that. So we're doing apples to apples across the board, and it's a manageable comparison. We received 3 bids this year. We did that basket of good comparisons, and Done Right LLC, the Little Sports Shop, was the best, lowest bidder, most responsive. One of the requirements that we have within this bid is that they are local in terms of Kansas City Metro, so we can drive to their place, or we can have those items personally delivered to us and not require delivery through the mail service or whatnot. But we did receive the 3 bids, compared those, and Little Sports Shop's been a long time partner with us in this particular area, so we are familiar with the company, have a great working relationship, and we do recommend award a contract.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of staff? Yes, Mr. Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This isn't anything to do with with the Little Sports Shop. It's a side question. Now that we have A4 in our warehouse and they do all of this type of production work, has there been any inquiries with them as whether they would want to partner with us in the future and maybe provide, some kind of a discount in that way? And I realize this is for 3 years, but that's something to look at since they're going to be there for at least 20 years. So,
If they provide those services, they have the opportunity to respond to the proposal, open proposal.
yeah,
And so that's where we would typically initiate that.
I'm looking for more like sponsorships and things as well.
I'm also looking for those too. So
All right.
as soon as we
Maybe
talk to
sponsor
them,
all of
yes,
them.
we
Thanks.
will ask for anything they provide us.
Yeah, anyone else have any questions? Nathan, I saw a news report, Little Owen Ragsdale's parents are raising, trying to take in donations of equipment for kids that can't afford it. I know we have tried to do some of the same thing. Have we partnered up with them at all?
With
Because
little,
Owen was, he played in our programs here.
yes, actually, they've been great sponsors for us and donating equipment, donating product for us. So we've never really. It's a matter of just all we have to do is ask if we need something.
Yeah.
They've been very generous to us.
It's good to hear. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir. If there are no further questions, I entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman,
sir, I move that we approve Bill 3955, award of contract to Dunright LLC, the Little Sport Shop, for Parks and Recreation uniforms.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdel-Gawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3955. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. Could I please have the first reading of Bill 3956 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 3956 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with CFS Engineers to provide design services for the Hawk Ridge Park Plaza and the Parkside Dog Park.
Let me guess, Nathan?
Very good, sir.
I'm up for the hat trick tonight, aren't I?
There you go.
So before you tonight is the contract for design for the plaza at Hawk Ridge Park and also the dog park. We submitted an RFQ request, which is a request for proposal, so that we would have companies submit their ideas, and they're basically a resume, and we interview those companies or we review those proposals, and then the park board based off our recommendation, a recommendation to you of who they would like. So we submitted those that open for request for proposals in January. We did receive two. One was CFS Engineering, which is Cook Flat and Strobel. They have been longtime partners with us, but they've also, just from familiarity, their sign is at TB Hanna. They were the designers of TB Hanna for us, and portions of Hawk Ridge Park. The park board looked and reviewed both proposals during work session in February, and then in March made the recommendation to staff to present to the council for award of design for these two projects for CFS Engineering. I'm happy to answer any questions, and that concludes staff report on this item.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Mr. Mustine? Did you have anything to add, Mr. Fearborn? I know this has been a hot topic for many years, and we're finally getting there, so.
My addition was going to be exactly what you just now said, sir. This has been a long time coming to get us to this point.
I know.
Can't
That's
wait.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you. If there's no further discussion, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman,
sir, I move that we approve Bill 3956, award of contract to CF Engineers for design of the Hawk Ridge Plaza and Parkside Dog Park.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdel-Gawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3956. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. Could I please have the first reading of Bill 3958 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 3958 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, approving the Madison Valley Fourth Final Plat, a subdivision of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 9, Township 46 North, Range 32 West, Raymore, Cass County, Missouri.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a staff report, Mr. Fearborn?
Thank you, sir. I would ask Mr. Gress to make a staff report on this agenda item.
Thank you, sir. Mayor and council, the request before you this evening is for the fourth phase of the Madison Valley subdivision, which is located south of Heritage Drive there on the east side of Sunset Lane, which is currently under construction. Couple things to note. The city council first approved the preliminary plat for the Madison Valley subdivision in December of 2022. It included 154 residential lots over 5 different phases, and so they are on phase 4 right now. We have plans in currently for the 5th phase, which the council will see here in a couple of weeks. This includes an additional 32 lots and a couple of different common area tracts for some buffers. In the subdivision, it will provide the required landscape buffer between this 4th plat and the existing Wedgewood Place subdivision, which is the single-family homes on the south side of this additional development. So they'll be working on that over the next couple of weeks. And then the other thing that you'll see, not necessarily related to this plat, more of a timing thing, there is a required landscape buffer along Sunset Lane, which because of some of the delays with Sunset, we agreed to delay so that they didn't plant it, and then it got tore up. So now that that project is making some good progress, they'll be back out there installing some of that landscaping that they deferred. So we'll work with them to make sure that that is in place before they get too far ahead. The Planning and Zoning Commission did have a chance to review this request at their last meeting. They did recommend approval to the City Council. Included in your packet is a copy of the draft development agreement and the summary of the meeting, or the conditions that were put on the recommendation from staff. Happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
Thank you, Mr. Gress. Any questions of Mr. Gress on this issue? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Holman,
Sir, I move that we approve Bill 3958, Madison Valley fourth final plat.
thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdelgawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3958. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously 8-0. Thank you. And the last item under new business, could I please have the first reading of Bill 3962 by title only?
The first reading of Bill 3962 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, vacating a portion of a utility easement located on Lot 103 in Edgewater at Creekmore 4th Plat, a subdivision in the City of Raymore, Cass County, Missouri.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a staff report?
Yes, I would ask Mr. Gress to start the staff report. I will have a follow-up, sir.
All right, sir.
Thank you again, sir. Mayor and council, the request this evening for this case would be on behalf of Sean and Christy Hagan. They're new residents here to the city of Raymore, just purchased a lot there in Creekmore and have been working with our office to facilitate the construction of a pool. As the council is familiar, a lot of the homes in Creekmore have a larger than normal utility easement, which prevents a pool from being constructed. So similar to our previous cases, we did work with all of the utility providers that would typically have easements in these facilities, and we got the required releases from those easements, and they'll be reducing it from the platted 25-foot to a 7.5-foot standard dimension. If approved, they will have to move forward with getting a permit and going through the review process to construct it. However, staff has reviewed the case and made the determination that all the required conditions have been met. So staff recommends approval of the case, and I know the applicants are here in the audience in case the council has any questions, but happy to answer any additional questions.
Thank you, Mr. Gress. Did you have anything now, Mr. Fearborn?
Thank you, sir. As the council is aware, every spring, you do see 3 to 4, sometimes 5 or 6 of these particular applications for up in the Creekmore area, because all of these homes, as Mr. Gress indicated, have these abnormally large easements that have to be vacated so these people can put a pool in. It is a number of times staff has looked at the feasibility of blanket taking all of these to you. Each time, the cost associated with what we would have to be doing, as well as the amount of staff time that would take. Just easier. We know it's an inconvenience for an almost automatic approval by the council. It is an inconvenience, especially when we manage to put something like this as the last item on the agenda. We apologize for that. But we think the one-offs are a little bit better, and it also reminds us that it's springtime each year.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions of staff on this item? Mr. Mills?
I guess my question, and maybe it is, we have to do it one-off because each person that owns a lot has to apply to this, but it would seem like when I look at this map, I mean, why wouldn't we just take that whole section there and change the easement to 7.5 instead of 25, so that each person doesn't have to come back and do that?
We would have to get each one surveyed, sir.
Oh, okay, okay,
That, again, very cost prohibitive.
okay.
Anyone else? Then no further questions. I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman?
sir, I move that we approve Bill 3962, an easement vacation for the property located at 1001 Bridgeshire Drive.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Abdelgawad. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the first reading of Bill 3962. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously 8-0. Thank you. Good luck with the pool. Well, we still got to go a second reading. Not that anybody's going to change their mind, but, you know. All right, well, that concludes new business this evening. We'll now move on to public comments. If anyone from the public would care to address the council at this time, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. I see people leaving rather than coming forward, so we'll move on to Mayor Council Communication. Mr. Baker, we'll start with you this evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say first, a thank you to the citizens of Ward 1 for re-electing me to represent them for another 2 years. I will say with the campaign being the only candidate that had a contested race, it allowed me to get out into my ward for several weeks prior to the election, my wife and myself and some other people. But probably the most rewarding thing I had through this whole election is getting to talk to the people in my ward. The day of the election, I spent 13 and a half hours at the rack in front of it, talking to over 200 people that came up that day to vote, and there was many more. There's 400 and something that voted. But just the ability to talk to the constituents of my ward, what was on their mind, what was important to them, and just generally getting to know them was really the most rewarding. To me, that is information now that I have that I will utilize over the next couple of years that, you know, I can truly say that I do talk to the citizens of my ward and understand that. And I hope going down the road, one of the many comments that I heard was citizen involvement. And I did say that we need to try and do ward meetings. I think all of us as council members have an obligation to get out and reach our constituents and talk to them on a regular basis. So something I'd like to try and champion, at least starting in Ward 1, is to have ward meetings potentially set up at least once a year, so we have a forum for our citizens to at least have one-on-ones or small groups or whatever it may be. But again, thank you to the citizens. Thank you, staff, tonight. For all the presentations and all the things we have going for the Parks and Recs Department and all that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mills, I'm going to switch it over
Okay.
in the end.
Well, first, I'm glad to be back in person. A year ago, I was elected, and I'd never in my entire life had any health issues. And about 2 weeks later, I ruptured my quad, and it seems like one thing after another. But I'm saying with this election, there's nothing else going to happen. It's going to be smooth sailing going forward. So, and then again, I'd like to congratulate Councilman Baker on a good job and being elected and all of his efforts of getting out and talking and representing the people. And again, Chief, everything we're doing to stop the vandalism, all my life, that is the one crime to me that is one of the most ridiculous, heinous crime. It doesn't accomplish anything other than destroying somebody's property. And I would hope that our citizens would be vigilant and start doing everything they can to protect the parks. And I think as much as we can make it easy for them so they know what to do, how to respond and call, I think that will benefit us tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Circo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I'd like to say congratulations to all the candidates for their re-elections. Obviously, everybody was re-elected, so we really thank you for your work and your effort. So congratulations to that. I do think what Councilman Mills brought up, I think everybody texts, so when he puts signs up, not only with the number, but that texting number for emergency, you see something, that's going to be, I think, very well done for the people who do that real quick anyway. I think that'll go a long ways. I want to say congratulations to our great city of Raymore. The people have always and spoke out that they respect and love Raymore PD. And they've always been encouraging for Raymore PD. And when we laid out this new safety sales tax proposition to them that had a defining wording in it that the funds and the money would go directly to the PD for all that extra stuff to add on to the regular budget that we need so greatly into the future. As we grow, and when we know our police department, 30-something officers compared to maybe 50-something like in our neighboring cities, our officers work so hard and do such a great job to keep us in one of the safest towns in the Kansas City metropolitan area. And we've always been known for that. Safety, safety. So I'm very excited and happy that our voters got out, understanding what we need for their safety and their families in the years to come for this great city of Raymore, that they got out with a 64-36 vote to put this tax up for us and for our city so we can well protect each and all of us and our families. And I'm very excited about that and very happy. I really felt confident that the voters would get out no matter what the situation was at the time, because they do understand and respect and love our PD. So it's a big congratulations to the voters out there. I thank you so very much. This will bring great rewards to our city for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to say appreciate all the voters that came out for the election. The police tax is probably the most important thing on there. But I'm going to shift gears. I'll brag on myself here. I was out a couple weeks ago at a music event down in Kansas City, and I was getting out of my car, and somebody said, "Mr. Burke, is that you?" And I'm like, look over, and some girl in her late 30s or mid 30s. I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't have guessed, but she's in her 30s, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I looked over at her, and because she was my student like in 2003 when she was 15. So I look over at her, I'm like, "Oh, you're Courtney." And I told her her last name, and her friend yelled an expletive and said, "I can't believe you remembered your name just out of the blue." So it really made me happy, because I didn't have enough years of really positive interaction with students, because I moved into the in-school suspension. But the other thing I wanted to say, a friend of mine that I went to high school with at Truman in Independence and MU for a while before he went to Cornell and got doctorates, and anyway. So he hadn't been back to Missouri in a long time, and I'm like, "Hey, you should come out and check out Raymore, because I know you don't know where the heck it is, because we had no idea it existed back in the 80s. We had no idea that this was here. Grandview was kind of too far away from Nolan Road." But so I drove him around, showed him our parks, and I didn't see any vandalism, so that was good. But he was really, really impressed with our town, and the funniest thing, his parents live in John Knox Village, and they're from Independence as well, and they're in their 80s, and they asked him, "Do they have a grocery store in Raymore now?" And so we had to answer yes, that we have a grocery store. So that was a pretty good story.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Barber, can you top that?
Boy, I don't know. I do want to add this. Congratulations, Mayor. Nobody's congratulated you, but congratulations
Thank
on
you, sir.
being our mayor for the next 3 years. I also want to congratulate everybody in all the wards that got reelected, and certainly I want to thank the people of Ward 3 for their faith and trust for me for another 2 years, and the people of Raymore for voting on the public safety tax. I just want to add, I appreciate Mr. Baker talking about having ward meetings. I'm a little different. I've lived here for 25 years. My office is in Raymore. I have a ward meeting every day. Most days I have lunch right here in Raymore. I get to go to the clubhouse, meet my constituents, most of them up there. So I get to talk to them, personally know them, and I get to do that. I think ward meetings are great, but I think it's even better when you're just out and about, spending your money, spending your time in Raymore, because I love this city, that's why I live here. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Holman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Many things lot of business, a lot of stuff we've covered tonight. My colleagues are covering most of it in our wrap-up. I'd like to focus on one, and one in particular. That would be a thank you to you, sir, for your proclamation for the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So as the mayor so eloquently stated, we refer to them as dispatchers, an old term from the old days that many of us remember. It takes a unique person and it takes unique abilities to be able to do that job. They deal with tragedy, they deal with hysteria, and they do it over the phone, and that wears on a person in typically a room with no windows where you can't see the outside. And there's one thing that dispatchers or telecommunicators have done over the years that has always amazed me. And there are a few people in this room that have unfortunately experienced this. There is nothing greater or sadder than the final radio call for a fallen officer. I don't know if I could maintain my composure during that event, but there are telecommunicators that do it here and across the U.S. every year, unfortunately. My thanks to them and my thanks to our police department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Mrs. Delgado.
My turn. I'll start by echoing that appreciation to our dispatchers. I usually thank them for keeping our men and women safe on the road because that is so personal to me. They do great work. Also, our animal control officers, they're doing fabulous work out there every day. So just a shout out to them. Welcome back to the mayor and fellow council members who were reelected, and congratulations on that. Echoing also the big thank you to the voters for voting in favor of that public safety sales tax. I think it's going to make a great difference in our community for quite some time. And then I'm going to wrap up with a little bit of a personal note on a pet peeve of mine that every year just gets me. So couple questions for council members who did run for office this year. When you filed for office, did you get a sheet from Erica that stated the rules for where you can place your political signs? Nod of heads. Yes, you did. I confirmed with Erica when I got here. You did, and it says that you can put one sign per street frontage on a property with permission from the property owner. Those signs are not allowed in public right-of-ways. It even goes on to explain that that includes between the sidewalk and the street. That's often an easy-to-name public right-of-way. It says you shouldn't put them in a sight triangle at intersections, among other things. Those are just the basics of the rules. So I know that you all received that, and I wonder, I don't know if you would be willing to nod your heads, how many of you followed those rules this time around?
I put up a few.
Most of you
I'll
did,
let
but
you
I know
know.
not all of you did because I saw signs in places that they didn't belong. Just questioning, as one council member offered an obligation of council members, I think an obligation of council members is to follow the rules that we make for everyone in the city. If you were putting signs in places where they didn't belong, where you didn't have permission from the property owner, where they were in a public right-of-way, my question is, do you feel like you're above the law? You don't have to follow the rules like you put in place for the rest of the people here in the city. Every year when I see signs in the right-of-way, every year when I see signs on properties that are commercial lots for sale, most likely you didn't get permission to put it there. Signs along Dean, between the sidewalk and the road, you probably don't have permission to put those there. It's a public right-of-way. I know you don't have permission to put those there. That's just one of many, many examples. The other point I'd like to make with this is when you do that, not only I question your integrity, but not only are you not following the rules we set for the rest of the community, but you're also wasting staff's time. Our staff has to follow up with people who question those signs. They have to go pick up those signs. It puts them in a really uncomfortable place, having to talk with council members about where they should or shouldn't put their signs, especially when you've been given the rules the day you filed for office. So just a note to the community, if you saw signs in places they didn't belong, I wonder if that council member feels like he or she doesn't have to follow the same rules as you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Engert?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations. Glad to have you
Thank you.
on board.
I'm glad to have you back.
I'd also like to congratulate my fellow council members for their election and putting up with this particular councilman for 2 more years as we go through this. Thanks to the voters for turning out that day. I don't know if they really understand sometimes the importance of that. I think some of them did, but I was looking at this one report and we had just under 10% of total ballots cast. And it's like, okay, I'm glad those that came out voted for all the right things, but I don't know what to do to get people to come out any more than what we did, other than, okay, maybe we had bring cookies or something with us at church. Second thing is, and I'll echo from my cohort here sitting next to me on the Telecommunications Week, big thank you. Those are between the telecommunicators and the animal care and the appreciation week they had. They're kind of the unsung heroes. I mean, I've seen my fair share of television shows. I've never seen one on animal control, nor have I ever seen a television show on dispatchers. Having done that on my own, I know it can be a headache, and I know it can be a lot of work as you go through those things. So, and I know the stress that they go under when they do those types of phone calls that my partner here was talking about. So, big thank you for doing that. I'm glad we do recognize them because they do play an important part for our city. And then finally, Chief, I hope you had the best night's sleep ever on the evening of April the 8th. Oh. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Engert. Well, I would echo, too, my congratulations to, I'm just going to call them dispatchers. They know who they are. I'll tell you what, I started my police career in 1975, and for the first 5 years, they would actually rotate us into dispatch. Not as complicated as it is today. Totally different than back in the 70s. Totally different. And even our dispatchers today not only have the technology that they have to learn and understand and comprehend and continue to learn on, but they also do EMS or EMD, emergency medical dispatch. So for our fire and paramedics, they're also giving responses back to the caller about how to treat that situation until help arrives. Very stressful environment. Very commendable that we have people that actually want to do that. One of the things I am appreciative of the state doing is recognizing them a few years back as first responders, because they certainly undergo as much stress as the officers responding to those calls, sometimes more because they'll get multiple calls for different officers. And so it is quite a unique environment. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to sit in on them, but it's phenomenal, the job that they do and the balancing act that my daughter did it for 13 years till she got burnt out and moved on to something else. But it is quite a job. And our animal control, on the other hand, is wonderful. I mean, Chief Zimmerman started that. Chief Wilson has taken it to another level. They're just as adequately equipped to handle many calls for service, and we have some of the best trained animal control officers in the metropolitan area, so I'm really proud, and it was my honor to provide those proclamations this evening. Congratulations to my members that on the council here that were reelected this last Tuesday. Glad to have you back. We've got a lot of great work ahead of us moving forward. I was glad to see the sales tax pass. I'm like you, Mr. Engert. I wish more people would have gotten out and participated in the election process. But we did get the folks out there that did vote appropriately, and we got the sales tax through for additional police protection for our community. And hopefully people will write down this number, 816-892-9737. That's 816-892-9737. That's the text line. You can get your message from anywhere in the city to dispatch by text. If you're good at texting, and many people are these days, use it. Get the message in. Get it in there right away, and so we can respond to that call. Of course, 911, 331-0530, they're all great numbers to call, but we all need to be vigilant in taking care of our parks, which are beautifully maintained by our people, but their beautification work only goes so far when the park is destroyed and they have to work on bringing it back. So please help us out in that. That's really all I have for this evening. Do we have any reason to go into executive session, sir?
We do not, sir.
All right. Would I'd entertain a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Holman?
sir, I move that we adjourn this April 14th, 2025 special meeting of the Raymore City Council.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn from the Raymore City Council special meeting for April the 14th.